Hi guys, Shady Games here today and welcome back to my channel. We are back with another Sims 4 speed build. So today, this is quite a long one, not gonna lie, it did take me a minute to do this build, but I put out a story and you guys, I gave you some options. You could either have it broken down into 2 parts or just one long video. You guys wanted one long video, so here we are. Feel free to take breaks though, or watch it at your own pace, maybe like 20 minutes at a time or whatever, or sit down, grab a snack and watch it all in one go. So today we are building a house where each room is based on a different pride flag. I thought this would be super cool and I had a lot of fun doing this build. So we go along and I just kind of pick which one I want. I don't use a wheel generator or anything. I'm just like, oh, what shall this one be? And I pick a colour scheme or a pride flag off the list. So for the outside, when I was thinking what could we do for the outside and like how could we base a house based on a pride flag, there is only one house that I think would fit the vibe and gave us like a definite direction to go with, and that is the bear flag. So for those of you who don't know, a bear identifies with the gay community. They are masculine. Let me read like this description of it. It says, in male gay culture, a bear is a larger, hairier man who projects an image of rugged masculinity. And what is not the definition of rugged masculinity than a cabin in the woods? I don't know, I just felt like that just fit this flag super well. The colours are like black, white, grey, and then like different shades of oranges. There's like orange, brown, and then like golden yellow. So that is what the colour scheme for outside is. And yeah, I just thought it'd be super cool. I feel like I could see them in the woods here, hiking, you know, being a bit of a lumberjack, chopping down trees, getting firewood, all that stuff. So we build like this cabin and then we add a lot of space outside it where they can hang out and relax, like woodworking tables and stuff, so they can do, I don't know, those manly activities, I guess. But yeah, I felt like that was the pride flag that I thought, like as soon as I saw it and was like thinking of a house, I just knew bear flag, cabin in the woods. And like for the other flags, I was like, oh, I don't know what I'd do with them, because the colour schemes and stuff like are good. Like I like the colour schemes, so you could base a house on a colour scheme, but I was like, that's not like an aesthetic, if that makes sense. Like I guess some of them are kind of pastel, so I could have done a cutesy one, but as soon as I saw the bear and the bear flag, I was like, cabin in the woods, perfect, done, sold, don't need to convince me anymore. So that is what we are going for here. So I'm just coming in. I do make this kind of big because I imagine it, since there's like a lot of pride flags involved, I imagine maybe like it's a Airbnb or one of them owns it and maybe they get together here during Pride or they have weekends away and they all rock up at this cabin. So I did want to make it quite big. We have a lot of like different hangout zones and a lot of different bedrooms so that we can have like sleepovers and everyone can stay over. And just like, I wanted it to be a really like a big community space, I guess, where they could all get together and just hang out. And I thought, what not bear? I really like this. I really like how it turns out. As we get into like all the different rooms, I did enjoy like trying to fit them to the flags, and like just, I don't really go off personality though. I don't go like, this room is for a lesbian. I imagine a lesbian does this. It's not like stereotypes or anything. I just literally went off the colours, and then tried to incorporate different styles and aesthetics, because I went off, I'll put the picture, I can link it in the comments below or in the description of like the chart I went off that has like all the current pride flags. Some are probably missing, but it had a good bunch and a lot of the colours are kind of pastel-y, so I really didn't want every room to go like cutesy and pastel, because I think pastel things in The Sims can be very like cutesy, if that makes sense. I didn't want it to be like that, so I tried to use like different aesthetics, but I've just made them up. I've not like, it's not like I think this flag person would look like this or like this, if that makes sense. Apart from the bear, because their literal description is rugged masculine man, and I think we can all know what that looks like, so I did build that for them. But I'm just coming in now and adding in all the windows and the doors. I tried to use orange windows and doors, as you can see, but orange and brown I feel like interlocks a lot in The Sims, so I don't think the windows are giving orange, but you can see the orange filter is on, so I did try. I do come in later and added some plants and stuff that are a little bit more orange. But yeah, I mean, having said that, maybe bright orange windows wouldn't have looked great on this build. Like maybe the lighter orange looks, because it kind of blends into wood a little bit. And then I was trying to fit in a door. The doors were kind of a hard task, I'm not going to lie, because especially for the orange section, the orange doors are orange. They're so bright. And I didn't want anything that would clash with everything else. So I tried to use a little bit of a more subtle colour to try and bring it all together. Also, I will note that the clip for the building of the outside is slightly faster than normal, just because the outside took me a minute, not gonna lie. I was in here for quite a while, and otherwise we'd have spent like 15 minutes of the video just on the outside, and I am aware this video is slightly long already. Once we go into the rooms, we slow it down a little bit so that we can see. Let me know what you think of the pacing though, because sometimes when I watch these speed build videos, I don't know if it's just me, but sometimes they go too fast, and I feel like the screen is flicking around so much I can't see what's going on. Like, I literally can't keep up with it, which is why I kind of do a slower pace. It does make my videos longer, but I just feel like you can watch it better. It's not like as jarring, I guess. Sometimes I watch some people and they just go way too fast, so I kind of have it on. I have to have it on in the background and listen to it rather than watch it, because it just makes my head go funny. But yeah, let me know what you think of this pacing. I think it's okay. I'm watching it now and I don't think it's too bad, but obviously next time we will go back to our normal speed, I think, because I do just enjoy having it a little bit longer, or even slower. I meant the video longer, the speed slower. But let me know what you think. Once we go through, I think we end up doing a bunch. I'm trying to think of how many pride flags we do. So including that, we do one outside, and then inside, I think we do about 10, or maybe like 8 to 10, maybe. We do a solid chunk of them. But obviously, I want you to, if you're part of a community that I use a pride flag for, tongue twister, let me know how you think the room turned out. Let me know if it was an Airbnb or your friend's house, if you would stay in there, or if just let me know which room is your favorite anyway. And B, if I did accidentally miss your, or if I just missed your pride flag because I kind of run out of rooms, feel free to comment it below, and then if I get enough that I've missed, I still have a couple on the picture I had. I can redo it at some point and do all the others. So yeah, it's not like I missed it on purpose. It's not because I didn't like the colour scheme of your pride flag, I promise. It's just I just picked some, and these are the ones I picked. A lot of the colours are the same, so like a few flags that have the same colours, just in different orders. So it was kind of hard to pick those because I couldn't do them both. Well, I guess I could, but the colour scheme, they'd look the same because the rooms aren't like in this like order of the colour scheme. It's just the colours are in the room. So yeah, maybe if that is the case for your pride flag, just switch it over. If I've done it for one pride flag and your flag uses the same colours, just say it's that yours and then it can be there. But yeah, if I have missed enough, I might do another build, even if it's just a smaller build, just with enough rooms that cover the rest of the flags. And then we've done them all and everybody has been included, which will be nice. So I'm coming in now, and this lot was kind of big. I did that because I wanted the cabins to kind of be decent size, like I said, because I want everybody to be able to come here and hang out. And B, I did want a lot of outdoor space because the bears allegedly, confirm or not if you are a bear and you're watching, they like to be outside. They like, I don't know, I imagine they probably like hiking, they like manly things, probably working in a workshop, wood shop, chopping wood, that kind of stuff. Like I said, lumberjack vibes I get. So I wanted to give them some outdoor space. They could be outside with nature and do whatever they need to do. So I wanted to set it out into like different areas. So like people who wanted to barbecue, we do like a big barbecue section outside, and like there's a nice big outdoor kitchen and seating, so they can go over there. We have a fire pit where everyone can like sit and chat, and we do something else. So I kind of have it scattered around. So I had this like walkway between it. And then just to kind of set it out to see how much space I needed for things, and just kind of roughly put things where I wanted them to save on that. And now I think I'm going in and adding the task of like making it all look good, because once you do these sections, it's like, okay, you've got 4 random sections in your garden, now what? You have to fill it in with plants, otherwise it looks trash. So I come in and I try and fill it in with plants. Again, I use green because you have to use green on these plants, otherwise you wouldn't exist. So most of the plants are either orange, some shade of orange, some shade of yellow, or white, because that was also on the flag. So they do like overlap a lot. We do like use multiple of the same plant, but I think it looks good in the end. It looks very overgrown, and I can imagine them tending to their gardens and just keeping it all pristine out here. We do add a few trees though to match like the nature around and like to bring in that foresty vibe. But yeah, I really love this. I do quite enjoy landscaping, especially making these flower beds. I love like putting them all together, like choosing out which plants I think are gonna fit and which like order to do them in. Do they always turn out great? Probably not, but I have fun, and that's like the main thing, isn't it? I kind of feel like I do, well, how I plan them out is I do like bigger ones first, just to take up some space, because if you just use small ones, you could be there all day. So we do have to use some big ones. So I put the big ones in first, so then I see what gaps I've got left. And then I kind of work my way back, I guess. So I use like the taller ones at the back and then the smaller ones at the front. Pretty standard stuff. And then I fill in any gaps that I have. There's some grass. I think there's some grass that came with base game, I think. And Horse Ranch has some. And then there's another pack. I can't remember. maybe Island Living, I think. Yeah, and they just have like a bunch of grass. Some have flowers in, some is just like a little bit more overgrown. And then I literally just put that everywhere just to fill in any gaps that I have missed, so that it kind of ties it all together and it's not like super patchy. And then at the end, I come in with some like dirt path and just add it underneath, because like flower beds I feel like are always on dirt. It's like a little bit, yeah, it wouldn't just be directly on the grass. So it just kind of ties it all together. Most of the times you can't even see it, but I know it's there and it makes me a little bit happier. So yeah, this is me just adding in the grass. You can kind of see what it looks like before and after, where I've got like those little gaps. And then after, once you fill it in with this grass, it just makes it look so much more full. Even though there's not that many spots like that you can actually see, just like that little bit of grass. There's this one that kind of goes in like squares, so you can like neatly tie it. And there's some that are a little bit more overgrown, which I do like to use in certain, like if it's like a big garden, I use like the slightly overgrown ones, because like the edges are a bit more natural. It doesn't end in like a harsh square. So I like mix them up. If you use these square ones, like these ones that I'm pulling out now, I kind of just use those to break up the edge a bit, so it doesn't just abruptly end in like a manicured space, I guess. If you use the square ones though, you can like alt rotate them and it'll like change the direction, I guess, so that it kind of doesn't all look the same. And then there I wanted to add like an end to it, because I didn't want the path to just end. So I was like, oh, maybe we'll add like a curve or like an angle or something. But yeah, look crap. So I swiftly deleted that and rejected that idea. I think it'd be cool if we could make curves. I mean, that is probably asking too much. We literally only just got curved walls, so curved paths might be a step too much. But then I think it'd just be a nice way to end a path rather than just on this stark, harsh line. You can like curve it out. I don't know. To be honest, I'd probably ask for it. They'd give it us and I'd forget it was an option. Not gonna lie. So over here, I wanted to add in like a barbecue area. No, incorrect. Barbecue's the other side. This is a hot tub area, as you can see by the hot tub. But I wanted to put it under like a veranda, so it could be like really cozy in here. And it's just like a nice space where they can all chill out. I mean, it's not that big, but I don't know. I mean, you can stuff some people in here. I reckon you could get at least 3 on each side. It would be cozy, but you could do it. So I make like, I think I call them a veranda, but it's not a veranda. A pergola maybe. I don't know. I'm obviously not fancy enough that I've ever had one. But yeah, I add it above the hot tub just to kind of make it a little bit closed in. And like I said, a little bit cozy. I do enjoy doing these. I've probably done them in a couple of my recent builds that have like bigger gardens. I just think they're fun and like a nice place to sit out. I don't always put a hot tub under them. I think I did like an outdoor seating area under them one time, which was nice. And then I'm coming in and adding in these like drapes lights, I guess. I imagine they are kind of like curtains, so they can tie them back to open it up on all sides, and have it like open and get like the breeze coming through. Or maybe at night time they lower the curtains, release them, and kind of have it a little bit more cramped and cozy in here. I did the like nighttime check to see if what it looked like at night, and it is quite a lot with all those lights, but in like the gameplay you could come in and turn them right down, which I think would look a lot better and like a little bit more subtle and romantic, I guess. I'm coming in now while I remember and just adding in, just dotting around different outdoor lights into the flower beds. I do kind of hide them, you can't really see them. I kind of just want it to look like, to have like a little bit of light, but nothing like that would attract your eye, I guess. I just kind of hid them in amongst the flower beds and just lit it up, so if you were out here of a nighttime enjoying like the scenery or enjoying like all the stuff around, you could see where you were going, and it kind of lit the way back into the house. Because to be honest, if I was in a cabin in the woods and there was no outdoor lighting at night, I wouldn't go out. It'd be so freaky. I've watched way too many horror movies. I'd feel like somebody was watching me and about to drag me off somewhere. So yeah, I have to add in outdoor lighting just for my sanity. And then come in and try and add in some more activities. So I had the telescope, and I just like looking through and seeing not necessarily what I think like the bear community would want, but just like things they could do out here to enjoy nature. So we add in like the horseshoe game. Has anybody ever actually seen one of those in real life? Is that like a thing? I feel like I don't even know if I've seen one. Maybe in like, do you like Bridgerton or something, or like a period drama? I've seen one, but I don't know if I've ever seen one in real life. I'm trying to think. I have been to like some summer fairs that kind of have things like that, but I don't think it's ever been horseshoeing or whatever it's called. No, I do not believe I have actually seen one in the wild. So now we are moving on to the interior. I've quickly just come in and done like a layout of where I think things will go. I haven't like determined a room for each yet, but I've just kind of sectioned it off. So this is our hallway, and our hallway is going to be for our pansexual people. So let me read you like how the pansexual people identify. So it says those in the pansexual or panromantic community are attracted to people of all genders. Some pansexual and panromantic people might be gender blind, meaning their gender is insignificant in determining their attraction. So I think they go for people based on your personality rather than your gender. So for this, their pride colours are pink, yellow and blue. And this flag was really cool. I do like this one. We did go with more the pastel variety in our build, but I did enjoy doing this hallway. And it was like our first one that had like multiple colours. Like for the bear flag, I feel like we were restricted in the colours just because The Sims doesn't have that many like nice items that were in their colour, which is really sad for that community. But I do think we managed to pull it off outside. But for like the pinks, the blues and the oranges, like yellows, in the pastel form anyway, there's so much. So I had so many ways I could have done this hallway. We do go with more of like a pastel vibe, I guess. But I do come away from that for other rooms, like I said. So in our hallway, we just keep it pretty standard. I add in an entryway table with a mirror above it so that they've got like somewhere to throw their keys and their posts, and then a shoe rack. And then in the corner, I pull out these mushroom stools because I absolutely love them. And I was so happy when they came in the colours that we needed. And I put them there so that, you know, you've got somewhere to sit down and take your shoes on and off. I do come back and like shuffle them around and make them look a little bit better, I do believe. But yeah, I do enjoy those mushroom seats are one of my favourite seats in the whole entire game. I did struggle slightly with this hallway, not for the colour scheme or anything. I found the colour scheme came together very quick, but because of the amount of doors that were in it, it doesn't give me a lot of like wall space to put things. Like where the counter is, or like the unit to the left as you walk in, that's pretty much the only wall space we have. The rest is so broken up by doors that you can't really fit anything in there. The space is either too small or you need to leave space for the door to open and for the sim to like move around. So yeah, it's like a kind of a decent sized hallway, but having those doors there makes it a bit of a nightmare to the furniture, I'm not going to lie. So I was coming in now and trying to bring in a rug. I do try and kind of have an even balance of all colours. I didn't want one colour to monopolise any of the rooms, but unfortunately there was no blue or yellow rugs that I liked, so I did have to go with pink. And now we are moving on to our front room here, and this is going to be our office, and our office is going to be our transgender flag. So let me read you how the transgender community identifies. So it says, the transgender community encompasses... Wait, can I talk? The transgender community encompasses individuals whose gender identity differs from the sex that they were assigned at birth. And their colours they are blue, let me get the flag back up, they are blue, pink and white. And they kind of, I think their flag is really pretty. It kind of goes like blue, 2 blue stripes on the outer, then 2 pink and then a white in the centre. So we do go with like the pastel vibes again in here just because it fits. And I feel like it kind of matches the hallway, so we kind of bring it into this office here, and I do believe this is the last one with the pastel vibes. I do try and branch out after here. So I wanted to make sure I had in like loads of skill building activities and just loads of things for people to do, I guess. We add in a computer in the corner and some musical instruments, and then a chess table. Those chairs from high school years I do also enjoy. When I'm doing like a pastel room, I do tend to gravitate towards those, as well as the computer from like the pastel pop kit. It has to be done. I add like a cross-stitching basket next to the desk, and then a couple of friendship bracelet kits, just because I think it'd be really cute for them all to make friendship bracelets, or just bracelets in general when they come and hang out. They might think it's the dorkiest thing ever, but maybe they started this tradition when they were younger, and they've all been like getting together. Maybe they like met in high school or whatever, and they get together every Pride, or they get together regularly just to hang out, and they started this tradition of making friendship bracelets then, because it was like, that's what kids do. And now they've all got older, they've just kept the tradition on. Like maybe they joke about how lame it is or stuff, but everyone still does it, and one person will always suggest it, and every time they hang out, or maybe it's just like at Pride they do it like once a year. They come in and they still all do it, and they still all love it, even though they pretend they have outgrown it, but it's like their favourite part of the weekend maybe. I then found these skateboards which have the best swatches on. I love them. They're kind of like hand painted, so I put them in here because it kind of has that artsy vibe. I also found out that The Sims has a lot of Pride flags, which I didn't even know. I don't know if they came with like the update, or if I've just never used them. I'm not really one to put Pride flags out. I don't put Pride flags like in my own house or in my Sims builds. I don't know, it's just not really my aesthetic, I guess. Like, fair enough if you do it. I don't know why, I've just never done it. So when I found out that there was Pride flags, and there is one, I think, for every single community we do, they all get one on the wall, just to rep that pride, I guess. So I come in and I add one to the wall in here, and then I do add one into the wall in the entryway because I didn't put one out there. And then coming in and just adding in a little bit of clutter onto these bookshelves. That flamingo painting, I couldn't tell you how many times I've used it. I use it all the time. I think it's really nice. I feel like it's only one of the only, I don't even know what aesthetic it is, but sometimes I just want a picture that's not like not a landscape or not anything crazy. I just want like a nice, elegant, not even elegant, I don't know how to describe it, but that flamingo one is one I gravitate to quite a lot. So we're now moving on to our downstairs bathroom, and we are decorating this one for the aromantic community. So let's read their description. It says the aromantic community refers to an individual who does not experience romantic attraction. And I'm not going to lie, these colours were right up my street. They kind of give me Kim Possible vibes. I'm not going to, I don't know. They are green, white, and it's like 2 shades of green, white, grey, and black. So we went a little bit moody in here. For those who like Harry Potter, I kind of went for like Slytherin vibes a little bit. And yeah, I really love this. I really enjoyed decorating this. Not that I didn't enjoy decorating the others, but the aesthetic of this is more up my street. So I had a lot of fun with it. Trying to make it, a little bit more moody, getting away from those like pastel of the other rooms, just to mix it up a little bit, which I think is nice. And also I kind of think it kind of differentiates the flags from each other. I think if we did like pastels for every flag, they maybe like blend in because the colours do overlap. But I wanted to kind of mix in different aesthetics. We have some pastel, we have this one which is a little bit darker, we do some other different aesthetics, I guess, just to kind of give each space, like each community, a space that feels like, I don't know, different from the rest and like theirs, I guess. I don't really know how to explain it. But I come in and add in a bath, a shower, no, I add in a shower and a toilet. I don't think they get a bath, do they? Because it's kind of small in here. Oh, they do. I just seen it then. And then we add in a little bit of clutter onto the counter. And then obviously a few plants, because what is one of my builds without some plants? So our next room, we are going in and we are doing our non-binary kitchen. So let's read the description. As usual, it says, the term non-binary refers to a group of individuals whose gender identity falls outside the traditional male-female binary. So for our non-binary folk, we came in and they get a decent sized kitchen. I'm not gonna lie, their colours are yellow, white, purple and black. And when I first saw it, I'm not gonna lie guys, I was like, oh god, are we gonna make this come together? Especially in The Sims, because I feel like the purple in The Sims is very like aubergine, and the yellows, I've said this before, the yellows in The Sims aren't my favourite. So I was like, is this gonna pull together or is this gonna look like not great? But I managed to find this darker shade of purple for the walls, and then the base game counters yellow was also a nice shade of yellow. And I was like, okay, we are off to a good start. I was worried for a second, but I didn't need to be because it all came together. And we kind of go for a witchy vibe in here, which I really do like. We use like the table from Paranormal, and I think the matching chairs. And then we end up adding in like a bunch of storage and stuff. And it becomes very witchy, which I do like. And I hope if there is anybody of the non-binary community watching, let me know what you think of your kitchen. This is also quite a big space, so I do end up fitting in a dining table so that they can have somewhere to socialise, somewhere to eat if they want to. And then, yeah, we add in a lot of storage, like a lot of shelving. I think I added like a bunch of plants because the shelving I put like the ones on the walls and also like this taller unit. They have like a lot of greenery on already, so I kind of run with that idea. And then on this wall here we add in like a little gallery wall. Of course we include like their flag. And then I think a lot of the paranormal stuff is purple, which is why it kind of goes down that witchy vibe. I'm just like literally searching for it now because I was like, it's my favourite pack to do like witchy or like slightly like mystical rooms. So I kind of wanted to see what that had. As well as like is it the Blooming Rooms kit? I think it is, that has like so many good plants. And I just kind of pulled out a bunch, different sizes, dotted them around. The hanging plant, of course, I really wish we had more of those because they are my favourite. And I just kind of dot everything around, add some art to the walls, kind of extending that gallery wall and adding in like a bunch of stuff all over the kitchen. And then on the stairs here, I wasn't sure what to do. I wasn't sure whether to add more paintings or to maybe do something else. Like you could open it up and add seating under there. But yeah, I think I just add a painting for now. I'm not sure if I come back to that. But I add this rug from Paranormal, which is my favourite rug ever. Absolutely love it. And when I saw the colour scheme and like the style of how the room was going, I was like, it had to happen. It did have to happen. But like I said before, I do try and fit in an even number of the colours off each flag. So there is a lot of purple in here because of the walls. Like, I feel like that's a dominating colour. So I do try and like, I didn't want to like pick one colour and like run with that. I wanted it to be pretty even amongst all the colours that were available. So I do try my best. For some of the colours, there isn't that much stuff. So unfortunately, sometimes maybe if a colour is lacking slightly, it is because there's just not stuff that would fit the room in that colour. But I do try. I do try. These yellow counters, I do actually end up really liking. Yellow isn't really a colour I go with that often, just because, like I said, I think yellow in The Sims is not a great colour. But I do really enjoy the colours of those cabinets, like the shade of yellow. And this kitchen does turn out to be one of my favourite rooms, I'm not going to lie. So next we're moving on to our living room, and our living room is for our gender fluid community. So the term gender fluid refers to individuals whose gender identity is not fixed and can fluctuate or change over time. This can occur on a daily, weekly or monthly basis, and the extent of fluidity varies from person to person. So in my reference picture, the gender fluidity flag is pink, white, purple, black and blue. So that is our colour scheme for our living room here. Again, that is, I try to come in and like make sure there's like a decent amount of each colour. There's a fair few colours to pack in here. We have like 5 colours. I mainly stick to pink, purple and blue, I think, for like the features, like the walls, the sofa, the rug, and then maybe like in the woodwork I bring out like the black and the white. But I did have a lot of fun with this one. I do enjoy these colours, and I did like kind of bringing it together, and also just trying to pick a style. We go for kind of farmhousey in here, I think, is kind of the decor style you'd say it turns out at. But I got to use my favourite rug, so winning for this room. I absolutely love this rug. It's from Horse Ranch. And I just think it's got the best swatch ever. It's like a mountain sunset. I don't know. I'm just absolutely in love with it. And then I felt like those sofas just didn't match. I feel like they just don't look comfy. That's the thing. I think that's the thing with a lot of these Sims 4 furniture items, like the sofas and the seats. I just think they look hard. So I swapped out for these 2 from Book Nook, and I think they look a lot more comfy and a lot more cozy. These end tables are from Horse Ranch again, and I think they match the rug. I think the rug like set the theme for the whole room, not gonna lie. I saw that was in the colour scheme. I was like, right, I'm using it, and then it kind of has this farmhouse like ranchy vibe, so we do kind of go down that path a little bit. We have done the blue wall, so I'm trying to bring out like the other colours in the decor, so we kind of have like a lot of pink in the rugs, the end tables, and then I do also try and bring out like a bit more of that purple colour. But these paintings from Horse Ranch are absolutely perfect for this build. And we even like fit like a little fireplace in this bay, which I think is like super cozy. And I feel like sometimes I just forget that fireplaces exist, and I forget to put them in my living rooms a lot. But I love a fireplace, like even in real life. I love a like actual fire, so like a coal fire or a log fire, rather than like an electric one that is like imitation. They are a pain, not gonna lie, to like clean out all the time. You have to like clean them out after every use, but they're worth it because they look so pretty and they pack a punch. They like heat your whole house up. I guess the other downside to them is you can't really turn them down. Once they're on, they are on. You can't like turn them off or anything. So I come in and I had a couple of bookcases either side of it. We had a lamp, of course. We had that flag, pride and centre above the fireplace. And then I come in now and try and find some curtains for our windows. These windows, they are like deceiving because on the outside they look big because they have the shutters either side. But when you come in, they're like really small. They're like just one single panel. But then if you add too many, so if I tried doubling the windows up to like give more light in here or like more windows. But then from the outside they look really funky because there's just too much shutters going on. You can't win sometimes. You cannot win. I do my favourite trick of adding like this. Is it a spandrel? I don't even know what you'd call that. Above the curtains, so it kind of looks like it's one long window or one long curtain rack rather than like 2 individual ones, since the curtains don't always match the windows. I'm not going to go off on it because I talk about it all the time, especially like the single windows I do find hard to curtain. So then I come in and just add like a little bit more decoration. We add in a little cat bed. In purple, of course, because I feel like I've neglected purple so far a little bit, so I'm kind of coming in now and trying to add in some other purple stuff. We add in a armchair, that's from the Paranormal Pack, again another one of my favourites. And then I do debate switching out this Horse Ranch posters for something like a little bit more purple. The first one I pulled out, I didn't like it. I couldn't decide between the two. I feel like I liked that one, but I like the other colour, like the other painting was more purple, if that makes sense. So I felt like it fitted the theme better, but the size of this one I liked, and I think it matched the room a bit better. So we do go with that, and then either side of it I add in some purple lights just for an extra pop of colour. And then we bring out some more purple decorations. So, you know, I didn't want the purple colour to be neglected. I felt like it wasn't like a strong colour in the room. So I thought I'd come in and add in some different decorations just to make sure it's there, you know. It's an important colour on the flag, so we wanted to have it included. I just added a couple of bits, like some tissues to the table there, a stack of books and a light. And now we are moving on upstairs. So I think I come in and finish off this deck first. That is kind of... It's still the outside, so it's still like the bear themed, but I kind of left it because I didn't know what I wanted to do in terms of the deck, because I was going to give it to one of the rooms, and then if I gave it to one of the rooms I was going to kind of give it to their style, but I was like, oh, I'm just going to add extra seating because I wanted this room to have all this build, to have like a lot of seating. So I'm pretty sure that's where I'm going. I think I finished the floor plan and then I do outside. Don't quote me on that though, I might do something completely different. That room that's still not done downstairs, I left it on purpose because I wasn't sure what to do with it. I kind of figured, depending how many bedrooms I fit upstairs, I could either give it to a bedroom, I was thinking maybe a gym, or like a specific room. So it kind of took me a minute to figure that out with like the layout and everything. I lied, I go into this hallway next. I decided to leave that outside for now, and our hallway is just for the Pride community in general. So this is just for the overarching Pride flag that we currently have, and it is like it's just a Pride, like this flag just accompanies everybody, so everybody is included in this, and this is just the overall community flag. So it's very colourful. It literally has every single colour of the rainbow, I feel like, plus some more. So we go super colourful in here. We start off with these green walls, and then we kind of bring in a lot of colour with the furniture and the decor I do end up adding. It's kind of a funky shaped hallway, this one, because we have the stairs in the middle, so there's not that much space for like decor and stuff. And we do have this like little nook here which I turn into like a seating area. Because this house would have such nice views, I think it'd be nice if they can come up here, sit down and just kind of watch the day go by, I guess, out of this window. I thought it'd be like fun to have something like this. I'm not gonna lie, I did kind of struggle with this because I feel like because the Pride flag is so colourful and a lot of the colours are really bold, they are not my specific like colour wheel, I guess. I didn't want it to be, I don't know, I feel like sometimes if you add like super bold colours, it just goes, it kind of looks a bit clowny. Like, do you know what I mean? Especially with the colours of The Sims, I think they're just so bold that I just kind of, I still wanted it to make it look sense. Like, I didn't want the room to look ridiculous with all these colours in here. So I did go for like slightly muted tones, I guess, but we do fit a lot of them in. This does end up being very colourful. We include, I think it's a hamster cage there in front of the window because it has literally all the colours we need, so it was perfect. And then on the wall we obviously include our flag there, and then behind here I add in like a entry table kind of thing, just a side table with some decor on it. You wouldn't be able to like get to here, it'd be kind of awkward, so I wasn't really sure what to put. I felt like it kind of looked a bit empty, I don't know. I think it needed something over here. So it does block off this like walkway section, but your sim can go the other way and there's plenty of room for people to get around. I had a couple of plants. I give them the money tree plants. They can all be rich. And then I give them like this nice big, I love that picture. It's like a Pride picture of like a group of friends. So maybe it's the friends that like rent this house and they all took a group photo. And then I added some owls. They are blue to bring out the blue. And then on the wall there we used another one of my favourite paintings, which is like that mermaid, not mermaid, incorrect, there's nothing to do with mermaids, it's a sunset, don't know where mermaids came from. So next we're moving on to one of our first bedrooms, and this is for our lesbian community. So the lesbian community encompasses women who are romantically and or sexually attracted to other women. So this is our lesbian room, and honestly this colour scheme is again one of my favourites. It gives very sunset vibes. The colours for this flag are like oranges, white, and then like different shades of purple. So this was one of my favourites to do. I come in with this high school's bed, which I think is perfect for this flag. It basically is the flag colours. So I had that swatch, and then the walls I painted like this nice peachy colour to kind of bring in that shade, and then we just go around and add in some different colours. I honestly, it kind of gives a bit of boho in here, probably is what the theme of it is. When I was doing these bedrooms and stuff, I tried to see if there was a polyamorous flag because we have quite a big bedroom, and I just thought it'd be super funny if we just filled it with like loads of beds, so like all the couples or all the, I'm not sure, is it like a polycule? I don't know if that's like a specific term for like a specific setup, but you know, so they can all have like loads of beds in there for all of the different members of their relationship. I don't really know what they're called, to be honest. I don't know what they're, like the squad, I guess. I'm not sure what the term is for if anyone is polyamorous, what do you call like the overarching, is there an overarching term for all of the people in your like relationship squad? I don't know, we'll just call it a squad for now, because sometimes, I don't know, I think they can be different though, because I think there's like not everybody within the relationship dates each other, so it can kind of like span out like a spider web. So like this person might date this person, and then the other person dates this one, but the first person doesn't date the other person. I don't know, I'm not polyamorous, so I'm not sure about all the logistics, but I just thought it'd be funny if we made a room with all the beds for them. But then unfortunately I couldn't find a flag. If you are part of the polyamorous community and you do have a flag, let me know, because I'll go hunt it down, and if we do a second build with all the flags I didn't include, we can definitely add you in and I can do the room of the beds. I just think it would be funny. So in here we add in 2 dresses in the corner. I love that dresser because it has such cool swatches. I think it's super cute. It has like flowers on it, this one, the pink and white flowers, and then we add in some pink curtains, and I'm just trying to bring in some artwork. I was going to do another gallery wall in here, but I think I don't do that in the end, because I think I do quite a lot of gallery walls in this house, and I think I need to branch out from that, do something different. So I think I do end up deleting that and going just a little bit more simple in here with just like a couple of pieces of artwork. Again, they are kind of pride themed. We have that big friendship group, and then we have that other one to the left of maybe like a smaller friendship group. But yeah, I do like those. I wish we had more though, that's the only thing. I do wish we had like more photos that you could put on the walls that are like of your family, I guess. I guess you could take your own and you can add them, but they're not very big. They're only like photograph size, but I wish we had like really large prints so you could add like, I don't know, just stories to your builds of like all the people who live there. We do go slightly stereotypical here and add in some cats. But that is the only stereotype you'll see in this build. I come in and just kind of add in some different clutter objects that I think are in the right colours. That guitar in the corner is currently one of my favourite items in The Sims. I love it. It's so like funky. It looks so cool. It's like a devil's head or something. And then around the outside I add in some fairy lights, you know, for that mood lighting. I love mood lighting. And then we obviously add in our flag above the bed there. I don't know, I think it takes me a minute to find it. I do think I found it on there because there is like a second swatch. Yeah, there we go. I do find it. It just wasn't coming up in the filters I had. When I first did it, I was like, how can it be? Like the lesbian flag has been represented for decades. Like it was one of the first ones I think that was introduced to like the Pride community. So I was like, they've got to have one. It's one of the OGs. So it would have really shocked me if The Sims didn't represent them in a flag. And then we have the rug under the bed, and I was thinking about adding a second one by these wardrobes here, but yeah, it just wasn't fitting. I think it just looked a bit funky. I think it was maybe too many rugs in one room and it was just throwing it off. So instead I raised some pots and put them up there. And then on the desk here I just pull out some more clutter items in colours I don't think are represented enough. That gnome with the sunflowers in his hair is so cool. I love him. And yeah, that is it for our lesbian bedroom, and now we are moving on to our upstairs bathroom. So our upstairs bathroom is for those people who identify with the intersex community. So the intersex community consists of individuals born with characteristics that don't fit typical binary definitions of male or female, and their flag is yellow and purple. It's one of the simpler flags, I think. It's only got 2 colours, so it was kind of nice to in a way to not have to try and find a balance of like multiple colours. And I think this kind of comes together. Again, it was one that I was like, when I was like starting to do it, I was like, oh my god, am I going to have like an issue here because of the shades of yellow and purple that are in The Sims. I was like, this might come out funky because we're going to have like aubergine purple and then like sunflower yellow, and I was like, I don't know if this is all going to go. But in the end, I do think it comes together, and it's not normally a colour combo I would like pick, but I don't think it looks that bad in the end. Would I like navigate towards it for future builds? I don't know. But it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So on one wall we fit in like a nice long vanity with like 2 sinks there, just because I feel like there's going to be so many Sims in this house at a time that we're going to need to double up. You know, we're going to need 2 people brushing their teeth at the same time if we're going to get everybody out at like an early time in the morning to do what we need to do. They have a bath and a shower, because I always add a bath and a shower because The Sims take so long to have a bath that you need a shower, just because if you try and give them a bath before work, by the time they've got out of the bath, it's time to leave work. They've missed the whole shift. So they have to have like a brisk shower in the morning just to be able to keep up with their lives. And then we added some little bit of decor. We add in a towel rack, some flowers, a toilet roll holder, some towels, just kind of stuff you would find in the bathroom. And now we are going on to this rather large bedroom. And this bedroom is for our bisexual community. So the bisexual community is an umbrella term for individuals who experience romantic and or sexual attraction to more than one gender, and their flag is pink, purple and blue. Again, I feel like a really nice colour combination. So this is a really big bedroom. When I was doing the floor plan, I probably could have given these a little bit less space and like made one of the rooms a bit bigger, maybe, I don't know, but this is where we ended up. And their bedroom kind of becomes a little bit witchy, and I do quite like it in the end. We came in with this like starry wallpaper in this really nice dark shade of blue, and then we bring in some purples with the bed. I do know that The Sims like added these pride beds in not that long ago, and I do like look at using them in the rooms, but I don't know, they just weren't fitting, so I kind of just used other beds that fit the colours, if that makes sense. These end tables I think are from City Living, and I'm loving them recently. I feel like it's one of those objects that I just forgot existed, and then when I've started using it, I just really like them. They have like really nice swatches. I kind of think they give like this mystical, like kind of like fortune teller vibe, I guess, if you put them in with the right furniture. And yeah, I do love them. And then on this wall here, we add in their furniture for their clothes and stuff, and we do an all pink suite to bring in that pink colour. They get the horse ranch long, like big wardrobe, high school years dresser, and then I think it's Get Famous mirror, which again, I think kind of is a whimsy vibes just because it's got like the swirls on it and stuff. So I think it does match. And then for this rug here, I was deciding where to put it. I could decide if I wanted it in front of the wardrobes or like under the bed like I usually do. I think it ends up being just in front of the wardrobes there. And I kind of stick it there, and then we give them lots of bookshelves because if we're going for a witchy vibe, I feel like they might have grimoires or spell books. And then of course we give them a cauldron so they can do all their potions and stuff, or you know, it is a Sim, so they can just make a big massive batch load of grilled cheese, mac and cheese. So then I come in and just kind of add some more stuff to the walls, because I feel like with these like witchy rooms, they have like a lot of trinkets and stuff all over the walls, like just different bits and bobs, like wreaths, like the sage hanger thing, and we of course include their flag. I also give them the retro phone because it's pink and I love it and it just matched. And then above these windows here, I add these like they are like succulent hangers, I guess, but I think maybe they use them as like plant starters, like they use herbs and stuff in their not experiments, in their potions and like witchcraft and stuff. So they like have loads of different herbs and stuff around their rooms, like when they're doing like a spell or something, they can like cut a fresh clipping or something and include it. I then give them just a couple of bits on these end tables. So we have the flower lights, which are my favourite, and then I just give them like a little bit of personality in here. So we add in like a mirror, a little statue of like a little figure, basically just anything that I think is cute and matches the colour scheme but also goes with kind of like the witchy vibes. I'm trying to find a rug to fit in under this cauldron, and it had to be a round rug because that is kind of, I feel like a square rug wouldn't match because it's like the cauldron's round and I feel like a square rug would look weird. So I go with this base game one. I think I was trying to find one from like the paranormal pack, but none of them were really reaching out to me or jumping out to me. So we decided not to do that in the end, and we just stuck with that base game one. So since there were only 2 bedrooms upstairs, I decided to come down and add in a 3rd bedroom down here, just because I want like loads of Sims to be here at the time. Like I've said plenty of times now, I've harped on about it enough, but yeah, I think loads of people would come and stay over here, so I wanted to make sure there was enough bedrooms for everybody. So this bedroom is for members of our genderqueer community. So the genderqueer community encompasses individuals whose gender identity does not fit neatly in the traditional binary of male and female, and their flag is purple, white and green. So down here we kind of come in, it ends up being like super cottagecore, and I actually really love it. I think it's just the colours, they kind of fit in with the cottage living stuff. So we kind of go down that thread. So we have like the 2 double beds. These are a twin, so like 2 friends maybe can share it. They get a dresser in between with just like some knickknacks on it, like a lamp. I always add a lamp near the beds because I don't know about you guys, but when I'm going to bed I turn off like the main light and have like a lamp on so that it's not like super bright, because otherwise you're chilling in bed like reading or whatever you do before bed, and then you have to get up to turn the main light off, and I don't like doing that because then you have to run to the bed in the dark before like the monsters get you. So I use a bedside lamp. so that when I'm ready to go to bed I can safely turn it off from within the confines and safety of my quilt. So yeah, I always give my beds a night lamp, and I love that one. It's got like a little fox on it, so I think it matches the cottagecore vibe we're going for in here. And I also particularly loved it because I got to use my favourite mushroom stools. So that was a favourite of mine. So yeah, like I said, the colours for this one are purple, white and green. So there's a lot of purple and green in here, and then white is kind of like our accent colour, I guess you would say. So since this bedroom is kind of cottagey, I kind of give them activities that I think match that. So they get the knitting or the cross-stitching box. I want to give them a pet. I want to give them a fish tank, but I feel like the fish tanks just aren't great. They get this one, which I think is where you can put like a frog or something. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, the fish tanks are so big. There's not like one that would fit just on a little table, which is what I was looking for. And then I did pull out the piano because I was like, oh, I love that piano. It's from it's not from Get Famous. It's from Horse Ranch. And I think it's so cool, but it was way too big for this room, unfortunately. And then on the walls we add in like a little bit of clutter. We add in their flags, of course. And then we add in some fairy lights and just like some general bits and bobs that are kind of a little bit cottagey. So on this wall here, I do believe we come in and add in, oh, no I don't, I changed the wallpaper for some reason. I think that goes back, yeah, I don't think I stay with that one for very long. Do you know what, sometimes I film these videos in bulk, and me doing my voiceover for them is like you guys watching it for the first time. I don't remember what I do half the time, so I'm like, I don't remember doing that, why am I doing that? But anyway, that was our bedroom, and then we are coming outside now to finish our deck area. And out here I just give them another seating area. I like to give them, on these decks I imagine it's just somewhere they'd come, maybe have like a cup of coffee at night time. They can sit out here with like blankets and like discuss things. So yeah, just like loads of seating, a table where they can like sit down and have food if they want to, a cooler so they can, you know, bring out some beers and enjoy themselves. I also add in a telescope because I feel like I've said before, this place is so picturesque. I feel like they'd have like stunning views, and at night I think like in the break of the trees, I think there'd be like a nice view up to the stars so you could have a look. I did debate doing like another one of these, pergolas, I can't remember what I called it before, one of these up here so I could add some like string lights, and I did like fiddle around with this for a while because I wanted the string lights to like look haphazardly like strung between all the slats. But when I move the camera in a minute and you get a view from it like how the Sims would see it, it don't look good. It looks really bad. They're like too low, so I think I end up scrapping this whole entire look. I feel like it's just a health and safety hazard, that is, isn't it? Someone's like breaking their neck trying to walk out in the dark and getting stuck on some string. So I swiftly removed that and just was like, yeah, that wasn't a good idea. I mean, in theory, it looked cute. In execution, it was trash. So I added in some of these like outdoor lights. We don't really have that many like outdoor lamps. I feel like the lights in the outdoor section just look very much like garden lights. Like sometimes though, if you go to like B&M or something, you can get an outdoor lamp that kind of looks like an indoor one. It's just like wet for the outside, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, guys, that is the end of our build. I hope you enjoyed. If you are a part of any of the communities that were featured today, feel free to let me know what your favourite room was, or if you liked your room. If unfortunately I missed your community out, feel free to comment it below. And if I've missed like enough or like a few to even just make like a smallish house, I can definitely come back and add those so that everybody is included. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.